The Bellhaven beacon, a sentinel of the sea. For centuries it had stood watch, guiding ships, warning of danger. The villagers whispered tales of storms weathered, of lives saved, and of the old lighthouse keeper, Mr. McGregor. He was a solitary man, bound to the beacon. Then one night he vanished, lost to the raging storm, never to be seen again. Some said he had gone mad, driven by the isolation. Others spoke of a ghostly presence, a guardian spirit. Still the beacon stood, a silent testament to its lost keeper, and a reminder of the mysteries it held. The storm had raged for days. Waves crashed against the cliffs. Wind howled like a banshee. Mr. McGregor tended the light, his weathered face etched with concern. The sea was a treacherous mistress. He knew her moods well, but this storm was different. It held a raw, untamed power.
The villagers huddled in their homes, praying for the storm to pass. Then, silence. The wind died down. The waves subsided. Dawn broke over a calm sea. But Mr. McGregor was gone, vanished without a trace. Only the howling wind answered their calls.
Years passed. The legend of Mr. McGregor grew. Tourists flocked to the village, drawn by the mystery. Among them were Claire and Tom, a young couple seeking adventure. They heard the whispers, the tales of the haunted lighthouse. Intrigue flickered in their eyes.
Let's spend a night there.
Tom hesitated. The stories unnerved him.
But Claire was insistent. She yearned to unravel the mystery. Finally, Tom relented. He couldn't deny her adventurous spirit. They secured the keys from the village elder. As they approached the lighthouse, the sky darkened. The wind picked up. A sense of foreboding settled over them.
The old lighthouse was cold, damp. The air hung heavy with the scent of salt and decay. Claire shivered. Tom lit a lantern. Its flickering light danced across the walls, casting eerie shadows. They explored the dusty rooms. Each creak of the floorboards sent shivers down their spines.
The wind howled outside, rattling the windows, whispering through the cracks. Claire felt a presence, something unseen watching them.
Tom tried to stay calm, rational, but fear gnawed at his resolve. He couldn't shake the feeling. They were not alone.
Section 5, the Lighthouse Keeper's Log. This section holds the secrets and mysteries that have been buried for decades, waiting to be uncovered by those brave enough to seek the truth.
In the lantern room, they found a chest. It was covered in dust, untouched for years, and it seemed to hold the weight of countless untold stories.
Old weathered wood, bound in iron. The chest itself was a relic, a testament to the passage of time and the secrets it guarded.
Inside, a logbook lay hidden. It was as if the book had been waiting for someone to find it, to reveal the stories it held within its fragile pages brittle with age. Each page seemed to whisper tales of the past, stories that had been forgotten by time.
Mr. McGregor's journal. The name itself evoked a sense of mystery and intrigue, hinting at the life of the man who once kept the light.
Claire traced the faded ink. Her fingers moved gently over the words as if trying to connect with the past and understand the emotions behind each entry. His words spoke of loneliness, a deep, pervasive solitude that seemed to echo through the pages, of his duty to the light and of strange occurrences. The journal detailed his unwavering commitment to his role despite the eerie events that plagued his nights.
Unexplained noises, flickering shadows. The lighthouse seemed to be alive with a presence that defied explanation. And a presence felt but never seen. It was as if the very walls of the lighthouse held secrets, watching and waiting.
He wrote of a storm that seemed to carry with it an otherworldly force, a power that was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. A storm like no other. The waves crashed against the lighthouse and the wind howled with a ferocity that seemed almost sentient. And then the entries stopped, abruptly. The mystery deepened. What had happened to Mr. McGregor? Why did his journal end so suddenly?
Claire and Tom exchanged a look. They both felt the weight of the discovery, the sense that they were on the brink of something monumental, a mixture of fear and excitement. The unknown loomed before them, both thrilling and terrifying in its potential. They were on the verge of uncovering the truth. The lighthouse held its breath, waiting for the secrets of the past to be brought to light once more.
Section 6. A beacon in the storm. Suddenly the lighthouse shuddered, its ancient walls groaning under the relentless assault of the storm. The wind howled like a banshee, and the rain lashed against the windows with a fury that seemed almost personal. The lantern above them flickered to life, casting long, dancing shadows on the walls and bathing the room in an eerie glow. The beacon had activated, its light piercing through the darkness. But how? It had been dormant for years, untouched and forgotten. The old lighthouse, once a proud sentinel of the coast, had stood silent and dark for what felt like an eternity. Its lantern, covered in dust and cobwebs, had not seen light in ages.
Claire and Tom, hearts pounding, rushed to the window. They pressed their faces against the cold glass, straining to see through the sheets of rain. The storm had returned, raging with a vengeance, its fury unmatched. Lightning split the sky and the trees bent and swayed under the force of the wind.
And then, through the chaos, they saw it, a ship struggling against the monstrous waves, tossed about like a toy in the churning sea. The vessel was at the mercy of the storm, its crew fighting desperately to keep it afloat. It was perilously close to the jagged rocks that jutted out of the water like the teeth of some ancient sea monster, ready to tear the ship apart. They were in the shipping lane, a treacherous path, even in calm weather. But the storm had turned it into a death trap. The beacon should have warned them, its light guiding them safely away from danger. But something was wrong. The light was erratic, flickering like a dying flame.
A chilling realization dawned on them. The beacon was malfunctioning, its once reliable light now a hazard. The lives of the sailors depended on it, and it was failing. Claire and Tom knew they were the only ones who could help. With determination etched on their faces, they braced themselves to face the storm and fix the beacon, knowing that the fate of the ship and its crew rested in their hands.
Section 7. The ghostly apparition. A cold mist seeped into the room, swirling around them, and then he was there, Mr. McGregor, a spectral figure. His sorrowful eyes fixed on the ship. He spoke, his voice a low whisper, carried on the wind.
The light, it fails. You must help them. Save them from the rocks.
Fear turned to determination. They understood. Mr. McGregor's spirit was bound to the lighthouse, unable to find peace until the beacon fulfilled its purpose. They had to fix the light. It was the only way to save the ship and to free Mr. McGregor's soul. Section 8. A race against time. Time was running out. The ship was being driven closer to the treacherous rocks. Tom, with his knowledge of mechanics, set to work on the beacon's mechanism. Rust and disrepair hampered his efforts. Claire searched frantically for tools, her heart pounding in her chest. Mr. McGregor's ghostly figure hovered nearby, guiding their efforts. They worked feverishly, driven by a shared purpose, to save the ship, to fulfill the lighthouse's duty, to grant peace to a restless spirit. Section 9. A light in the darkness. Finally, with a deafening clang, the mechanism whirred back to life. The beacon blazed, stronger than ever. Its beam cut through the storm, a lifeline in the darkness. On the ship, the crew saw the light. Hope surged through them. They altered course, narrowly avoiding the jagged rocks. Mr. McGregor's form shimmered, a look of peace settling on his face. He nodded gratefully at the couple. Then, with the gentle sigh of the wind, he was gone, faded back into the fabric of the lighthouse. Section 10. The beacon's keeper. The storm subsided, leaving behind a serene calmness that seemed almost surreal after the chaos of the night. Dawn broke over a calm sea, painting the sky with hues of pink and gold. The first light of day brought a sense of renewal and hope to the coastal village of Bellhaven. The rescued ship, battered but intact, limped into the harbour. The villagers, who had anxiously awaited its return, erupted into cheers, their faces alight with relief and joy. Claire and Tom watched from the cliffs, their bodies weary but their spirits soaring. Exhaustion mingled with elation as they saw the ship safely dock. They had faced their fears, solved the mystery of the Bellhaven beacon, and freed a tormented soul. The lighthouse, once a symbol of dread, now stood as a testament to their courage and determination.
Watching the ship. We did it, Tom. We really did it. The weight of their accomplishment settled in, and Claire felt a sense of pride she had never known before.
Nodding, looking at the lighthouse. Yeah, Claire, we did. And it was all worth it. Tom's voice was filled with a quiet satisfaction as he looked at the lighthouse, now a beacon of hope rather than fear. And Mr. McGregor, he's finally at peace. The old keeper's spirit, once restless, had found solace, and the lighthouse was now a place of tranquility.
The lighthouse stood tall, its beacon shining brightly. A symbol of hope and resilience, it guided ships safely to shore, just as it had done for generations, and a reminder of the brave keeper who still watched over it. Mr. McGregor's legacy lived on, his dedication and bravery etched into the very stones of the lighthouse. The villagers spoke of the miracle light, a beacon that had shone through the darkest storm, guiding the ship to safety. It was a story that would be told for generations. The storm that suddenly calmed as if by some divine intervention, leaving the sea as smooth as glass. The dark clouds parted, revealing a sky full of stars. The ship saved from certain doom, its crew forever grateful to the light that had guided them home. They would never forget the night the Bellhaven beacon shone its brightest. The Bellhaven beacon was no longer a place of fear. It had transformed into a symbol of hope, a guiding light for all who sailed its waters. It was a beacon of hope, a promise that no matter how dark the night, there would always be light to guide the way. And Mr. McGregor, its eternal keeper, would always be there, watching over the lighthouse and the village he loved so dearly. His spirit, like the light, would never fade.